Now, page 4, building the wall. Israel is doing so right now along its border in Gaza. The Israelis are building this latest addition to an already existing wall to help keep out unwanted people, in this case, Islamic terrorists who want to slaughter Jews. The barrier is nearly 20 feet tall and is triple layered. It includes smart technology. What's more, there is no debate in Israel over whether this wall should be built. That's because an overwhelming majority of Israelis understand what is at stake, the safety and the security of the people of Israel. So why is it that there is no overwhelming majority of Americans understanding what is at stake for this country? Why is the concept of building a triple-layer, 20-foot tall barrier somehow controversial? For rational thinking Americans, there can be only one answer to this: politics. The modern Democrat Party is playing politics with our urgent and long overdue need for permanent border security. They believe that open borders, in the end, helps them stay in power. Democrat lawmakers who live nowhere near the border are so certain about what we need down there, like the radical senator from Maryland, Ben Cardin.
The historic shutdown of our federal government never should have happened.
Stop tape. This is a moment in time that just infuriates me, because you have the Democrats coming out here saying there never should be a shutdown, even though there were 20 prior to this one. There never should have been a shutdown whatsoever. The problem is, constitutionally speaking, there's a very simple reply to that. It is completely constitutional. It's part of our system. It doesn't say in the United States Constitution, in Article 1 or Article 2 or Article 3 or anywhere, that there shall be a government shutdown. No. But what the United States Constitution does do is it gives, in Article 2, the President of the United States veto power. And that's what's transpiring here. The President is saying, hey, I'm going to veto this spending plan because it does not contain robust and permanent border security. Likewise, the Congress has the power of the purse strings, and that's why we have the impasse. The Congress can say, here is your budget. This is what we are going to spend. And that's essentially, effectively, what Nancy Pelosi is saying, although she's infusing politics into all of this equation. But essentially, they're at loggerheads. The President, Article 2 branch, and the Congress, the Article 1 branch. And that is completely constitutional. What a teachable moment for the Republicans. And by the way, I have to say something here, and this is important, and I hope the White House is listening. This is the weekly Democrat address from Cardin. Every week they're out there with a message to the American people. But weeks and weeks and weeks go by out of the White House, the Trump White House, with no presidential weekly address. Remember, it was Ronald Reagan who made these radio addresses back then. I think it was before television, before he used television. It was the radio addresses that Ronald Reagan delivered every week to the American people, and the radio stations cleared them, and eventually it kind of morphed into this television product. The White House is missing a huge opportunity. I don't know who's advising the president on this one, but he needs to be out here just like this buffoon is. Roll tape.
In December, the Senate passed a short-term measure to fully fund the government, which included robust funding for border security.
Stop tape. Okay, first of all, there was not robust funding for border security. There was no funding for the wall, as Nancy Pelosi is saying, over her dead body. But we're talking about almost an apples and oranges here. We're talking about the 116th Congress right now. Back then, that was the 115th Congress as headed by Paul Ryan. And apparently, we've come to find out that Paul Ryan was telling the White House for maybe a year that there was never going to be the support, never going to be the positive votes for the wall, until certain members of Congress, the Liberty Caucus, stood up there on the floor of the House and said, hey, Mr. President, we have your back. It was December of 2018, and Congress was about to go home. The members of the Liberty Caucus said, we have your back, Mr. President. Please, now is the time to permanently secure our borders. And that is why the president held his ground, because he saw there was indeed support for the wall, and eventually the legislation did pass supporting the wall. So this guy is trying to rewrite history.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.